Soon I discovered that this rock thing was true. Jerry Lee Lewis was the devil. Jesus was an architect previous to his career as a prophet. All of a sudden, I found myself in love with the world. So there was only one thing that I could do, was ding-a-ding-dang, my dang-along-ling-long.
Still true to this day. Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, I was just indulging myself in, I do like to read the classics, or the big names in literature from time to time. Archie, Hardy Boys, Scooby-Doo Adventures, things like that. So the last video I did, I showed you guys the Vamp review. You guys remember that thing? You've heard of it, the Vamp. You might have seen a couple on the interwebs over the last odd number of days for whatever reason. Interesting project. I've looked into it. Hasbro makes these. So yeah, I did a review for my friend Jay, and I hope he likes that review. I'd done the unboxing in a live. That was a lot of fun. I was just looking, seeing that I'm almost at my 350 contest. It's interesting because at 350 contest, I have to do some customization. I can't even get started till I know who wins. If only I had been practicing on doing some conversion stuff of some sort. Yeah, no, I've been blinded on the Vamp, and, do I regret not getting mine? I regret being too slow, but I don't regret not having it, because that is not a permanent state. I will eventually get my Vamp. Not worried about it at all. But thank you very much, Jay, for allowing me to review yours. And like I said in my last video, I made some discoveries, and I've decided that that is a fine product. It is nowhere near perfect, but is nowhere near as flawed as some would have you believe at first glance on particular titles and videos. So enough, I digress about that. You guys know the Crow. This isn't a tactical perspective. I'm not reviewing my own stuff. This is the Crow's Customs Corners. And today, for today's custom, I'm going to show you what happens when you don't buy the Vamp, but you have clutch. Yeah, you have to adopt. Now, the thing about my channel, and you guys are kind of catching on, is I'm part of one of those breeds that likes to do the G.I. Joe classified only, but he plays in other markets. I do reviews on figures, but I bring a tactical perspective because I've got that military experience, specifically in armored reconnaissance and with the armored vehicles of the Canadian Armed Forces. And I love working with my hands and doing conversions and crap. And I have a good friendship with some YouTubers out here like 3-Star Draw or Aaron the Toy Enhancer, and we have our backyard battlefields, right? And those guys, they got a lot of Joe stuff, and they got Vamps. I know they got Vamps. I've seen it. Seems like everybody got a Vamp. But I got clutch, and I like clutch. Clutch is aces in my books, guys. I'm a big clutch fan, and yeah, so I managed to get mine, but I promised him a ride. I did. I said, Clutch, I love you, buddy. You're part of the original 13. Of course, I've got to do something for you. And so we had to get him a ride, right? So I've been working on some stuff. You guys who have been watching the channel have seen me doing backdrops, and I said I'm going to do some quick and dirties. So today I'm going to show you a quick and dirty, but I thought I'd get a little fun with it because I had fun making it. So I gotta have fun talking about it, right? So today I am going to show you a little piece of masterpiece theater. Yes, theater. I am a fan, of course. And therefore, as a fan of theater and thespianism, I do like the way those women go at it. No, thespianism, pardon me. I do like the way actors go at it on the stage. Good cover, eh? I do feel this compulsion to share with you the creativity that is a presentation about something I've made out of my own brain. And therefore, I've come up with a little play, motherfuckers. So, let us go back to what the Crow has always done and fall back on our good friend Flint to set up what it is that we are up against today in finding a new Vamp. Oh, hey guys, it's me, Flint, field commander of the G.I. Joes. You guys recognize me from previous videos, and sometimes after the cartoon is done, I will sometimes give you a useful information about your toothbrush or bathroom stall etiquette. Today I'm here to tell you about the importance of confirming messages are understood. The receipt of a set of orders is important by all soldiers, especially when it comes to radio procedure. We have run into an incident here involving the Vamp. Since Cobra has taken over during this war in this Endstate world, whatever Cobra is doing in Crow's Endstate world, that makes everything so bad for us. The watchdog program that was linked to all of our vehicles has since been pretty obviously bad, and it fried all our computers. We really screwed up. I mean, that was pretty obvious that that was a Cobra program. We became pretty dependent on it, and yeah, so we've lost a lot of our vehicles, and Sergeant Slaughter had to get to the USO show because he heard Nickelback and Blink-182 were both playing, and he is a huge fan. But most importantly, Garth Brooks is the headliner, and he is demanding that this broken Vamp be replaced immediately. So he has kicked Clutch out, and Clutch is taking Breaker's Ram to go and pick up a new Vamp. Breaker, meanwhile, has now done his job and radioed ahead to rock and roll that Clutch is coming, and he needs a new Vamp here now. That is the message. New Vamp here now. So he's going to set it up with one of our new contacts in this horrible Endstate world, who hooks us up with vehicles, Vimo. And we've learned to deal with Vimo, but Vimo isn't always the most straightforward cat. So I'm going to take you now to Vimo's car sales and used appliances, and see how Clutch is making out with getting a new Vamp over here now. Thank you. Okay, so you got the part where it was supposed to be a Vamp, right? Well, that's not what we heard, man. Like, it was, all I heard was we needed a new camper now. And I was like, okay, man, I'll get you a camper. Yes, it's a very good camper. It's top of quality, best one on the lot. You're going to pick up, you're going to have a good time with this camper. It's top Ukrainian mountain vehicle. Very strong John Deere engine rebuild. Very pricey, my friend, very pricey. But it's good if you go north, south, east, west. But if you go north, you go bring blanket. The heaters on these, not very good. Oh, Jesus. I'm pissed. I was supposed to get a Vamp. Yeah, but this is better than Vamp. I tell you why. Okay, listen. You see all this paint that look like rust. The rust and the decals is all hand painted on there. It's actually it's very resistant, and it's very good paint job. You can't buy this paint job in the States. Never get no. And you see here, better than windows, you get metal mesh. Metal mesh prevent you from maybe you take a bullet instead the fragment gets stuck in the mesh, so it's better, right? Up here you can store all sorts of your camping gear, throw on the tarp, maybe you steal highway signs, and who knows, and it is definitely good to recycle your metals and scraps, right? Over here, you know, you've got the 8 times halogen bulbs. Did you say halogen or halogen? It's halogen, as in halogen bottles. But they're very bright when all 8 work. When only one work is very blind. Don't drive. When only one work, because these don't work. These 2 headlights, they broke a long time. But I give you very good price on this this camper. As you can see, we go inside now. We pop open the top. Don't worry about the armor plating. They're meant to fall off. It's a strategic advantage to have armor that come off very easy. It's called reactive armor. You pick up a Jane's Guide, you learn about these things if you've been in war many times. I know how reactive armor works. That wasn't reactive armor. I can actually see the pieces of gun tape hanging off those. Well, it's it's Kevlar gun tape, very bulletproof. Inside, you see, you've got much room for all your kit and storage. You've got maximum detail tiles and plenty of hiding places. If maybe, say, you want to bring missiles or other things in and pass combat checkpoints, no one find you. You hide behind blankets. And maybe if you see down south 7-7, I give you a $5 discount today if you deliver these Care Bears to him. Well, all right, well, yeah. I don't know. Cover girl, what are you saying? Well, everything down here is the same color. What color is it? Rust. Okay. And how much were you saying? For this, my friend, 500,000 American dollars. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, man. We barely have $20 between us at this point because of the Endstate war. Well, okay, I trade you for Tim Hortons hockey cards. Oh shit, we got lots of those. Okay, very good. I back it up, but you have to pay now. We have many offers on this one. I find that hard to believe, dude. You can't have many offers on this. Oh, so many offers on this. Raul, how many offers on this? We have many offers on this. See, so many offers on this. Now you buy, okay? All right. Thanks, guys. That was fun. That was a fun way for me to show off my little van, and I'll stop being a goofball now and just talk about it a little bit and tell you what I made that out of and give you a better look. Because some of the customizing I actually did to this toy that you could probably pick up at Toys R Us, I imagine. I had to really look up what this toy was online. I had to do some digging because, as you know, I find these things at my local Value Village, which in the States, you guys know that to be called Savers. In Canada, we call it Value Village. They're all part of the same parent corporation, and they're just a used store, right? A place to drop off your stuff. So I'm just gonna find my glasses here, and I'm gonna call up the images, and we'll move right along for today. The goofing off is over. So if you remember on my channel a while ago, if you've been around, I had this, and I'd picked this up, and I'd quietly shown this to Aaron, the toy enhancer, and I said, man, I want to make an old beater out of this for rock and roll and clutch, right? So I had this vision of it from the moment I saw this, because I have been wanting to do a model like this since back when I was painting Hot Wheels in 1/32, and I could never find a good van to do it with. And this reminded me of one of those Moon Eyes kind of mini customs that you would see at a car show, right? But it's actually a product of Wonder Wheels, I found out through online, and it's a toy designed for a 1-year-old. So before I show you how I made this, what I used, and what kind of stuff I did to it, and give you a better look at some of the things I'm kind of proud of about it, you want to do that for me, it would really help me reach that 350 where I got my contest giveaway. But more importantly, I'm trying to grow this channel because I found my place in this community. I just need to find more people like me. And so far, I've found a pretty good number. I think I can find a few more if you guys circulate videos like this and show kind of where my little Canadian veteran imagination of a crazy ADHD-driven guy, what a messed up mind can produce. And, you know, it's not always the best quality, but my God, I don't think you're going to question whether or not my brain worked on it. Enough of that. Here's the price upside down. I can't get this photo rotated when I do these videos because that would require forethought. But it was $5.99 Canadian, which is the equivalent of probably, maybe $3.75 US. And it had this interior that was very safe for children to play. But as you can see, it had a very raised floor. It had absolutely no depth to it whatsoever. Everything, while in scale with almost a 1/12 kind of figurine effect, was leveled off at waist height. There, you would only be able to put the torso in and look through the window, and that would look right. There was no leg room whatsoever. Everything was molded this way. So as I was talking to Aaron, and as I've been mentioning before, I had this in mind. An old van, maybe a little flash of Scooby-Doo. I don't know. I really did like the idea of an apocalyptic or dystopian American Canadian Scooby-Doo homage. Maybe that's why I had Scarlet and CoverGirl and and the two dudes up there in the dog. Maybe that's why they were up there buying the van. Jinkies, I don't know. But anyways, I kind of went with the idea of the old VW van, the camper van. But obviously, I don't have a VW logo. But if you look at the front of this, that was definitely, I think, what the Wonder Toys or whoever they are had in mind for it, right? Is that kind of a front end. So I went with that kind of an inspiration, but I knew I wanted this thing beat to death, and I knew I wanted it kind of modified, like a little bit muscled, right? But, you know, I also said that I wasn't going to throw a whole ton of effort into this, converting it, meaning I wasn't going to Dremel out the floors and make this a functional vehicle for my classified to sit in or anything like this. This was a backdrop. So I was free to kind of put more time into how to present its exterior and not worry so much about play functions and things like that. So I kind of ran with it and said, you know what, I want to do the rusty rat bucket, you know, like that kind of thing. I want this to make sense for a guy like Rock and Roll and Clutch, who I picture would be like big Jesse James car guys that watch a lot of the restoration shows or rat rod shows, and a lot of customization with vehicles. And this would be a project that maybe they and CoverGirl had built on, and maybe it's got some off-road capability, but it's definitely got the more powerful engine, not the John Deere that it was bought with. But just a shout out again, the last video on the Vamp video, I made mention to the weapon systems and how it had to get explained to us through a Punk with Toys, how these gun ammo boxes sat on the Vamp. And it worked out well, because that was the one thing I said I won't have on this, right? As in a dystopian America, in a dystopian Canada, where Cobra is kind of like the new law, to be noticed with turrets and everything like that would be to draw fire and things like that. I wanted, you know, just this little punk rock van that's beetling around, but inside is a little tack team, right? And you can see they've got ammo cans. Some of these are from Loki Wartooth and things like that. Now, one of the fun things I did, sorry, I just realized I wasn't angling in that camera, the ammo cans and stuff. One of the things I did was I made a tarp for it that is just simply Kleenex treated with a mix of a light brown paint, some over-the-counter white craft glue, and some water mixed, and then you just soak it in position after you've folded it and placed it where you want. I soaked it into position, and you can see it kind of gets that tarp effect to where he's kind of covered all his gear. Not all of it though. I have some of it out on display so you could see it, and you know, I did make it so that I could keep the sign out, because I wanted to be able to put a tire here at some point if I needed to. If I found a tire that was on the right scale, I have a corner I had that in, and these chains I can take in and out. They're just kind of creatively wrapped around. The signage on there is left over from an old 1/32 scale hot rod set backdrop I had done, where they in a junkyard, and he had all these old rusted signs, and I thought, you know, whatever his name, Vladislav or Yadomir or Zemo or whatever I called that guy, maybe they built a roof rack out of scrap metal, because metal's hard to come by, you know, in a war-torn world. You know, metal gets repurposed for a lot, but the scrap metal of signs and whatnot got banged into a roof rack. And that was to get rid of this this whole surfboard that the thing had on it at the very beginning that you saw there. I didn't want that surfboard on there. It was one of the reasons why it had caught my eyes, because I was like, oh, surfboard, Rock and Roll's a surfer. But yeah, it wasn't right scale. It made the miniaturization of the van, and trust me, I see how miniaturized it looked. It made it look unpurposeful. It made it look like that's the normal environment for the world that lives in this disproportionately small surfboard. But to have a disproportionately small van where the inside is scaled actually very well, you know, like it's a very nice interior that they molded. To have that, it made me think of like these car shows where a lot of customization of vans and trucks and cars happen, and you see the guy do the cut down cut down roofs and the cut down vans. So that's what this was a cut down van. And of course you go with the old zombie apocalypse windows every time, right? And I was able to get a lot of rust effects on there. And so one of the rust effects I used were the bottles I was showing you guys when I did the video about the Turtles backdrop, and I was using rust there. That was all the Game Color and Vallejo and all those kind of companies. But another one I use is a Games Workshop product. It's called a Typhus Corrosion. And that creates a really thicker layer of harder rust, like denser textured rust. So after I had mapped out where I wanted to rust, I then went over it with some Typhus Corrosion. I tried to pay attention to where rain drips would happen, and you know, this thing sitting for like months on end, you know, barely getting started, having the fluid circulated at times, lights replaced, whatever. You know, what would that look like on a truck like this? And I had a couple off color panels, like the rear tailgate and the side door, just as replacement parts from its original design, things like that. I mean, you guys can kind of see it, but a lot of the decals I added, like I pulled off other models, like all the parts and filter sponsors and things like that, and a lot of gambling motifs, because I picture, you know, this is the back before the fall and Cobra kind of destroyed the continent. You know, the guys would go out to Reno or Vegas and live it up for the weekends, and Clutch would be quite the gambler, I bet. And maybe Snow Job's out with them, and that's why, right? But you know, the old wolf pack out partying again. But yeah, that I'm pretty happy with this. I was kind of happy with this little trick. I had learned this a while ago and kind of was waiting for. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't do it before. If you guys remember on the Wolverine wall, I had a set of these lights up on the post. It's nothing to kind of just pop the camera over there. The Wolverines wall inspired by Grievance and the Wolverines. I did actually find another figure to add to them, so I'm going to get back to work on them. But that light cluster, I felt like I missed my opportunity to do this the first time. What I did there was I just kind of, instead I just paint, I separated the paints inside the lights. So we had the gray, we dry brushed some flat black over the outside, like bad paint, and then we weathered that. But inside I just painted a little dab of white to represent the bulb, the hollow gin bottle bulb. And I used clear school glue, like this transparent glue. This is the stuff here. And that, once hardened, creates my lights for this thing. Now, I can't do what Aaron does and wire things, but because I wanted to keep this simple, I think that's as simple as it needed to be to represent glass bulbs. Maybe want to redo the headlights on this, but that was the thing. I wanted this quick. I wanted this done. So you can see some of the other decals on there, like the Reaper. There's an Iron Cross on here somewhere, more sponsor, like what is it, STP and all those guys. There's another nod to the Rat Rams, or the Ram Rats. You know, it's a rat rod custom. We like rats. You know, and yeah, just a bunch of decals. And we even have some on the roof. Some gambling stuff in there. You know, just a few nods to a common theme. And then, of course, down in the bottom it says, "In Rust We Trust," right? I don't think I'm going to end up doing another vehicle ever like this unless I, for some reason, lost this one in a casino. But I wanted to do at least one good, dirty bastard of a rusty vehicle. This is what happens when you order your Vamp from Wish, guys. But this was the vehicle I had always had in mind for Clutch when I knew I was going to get them, because I didn't have the Vamp, but I was still going to get them. And this is to tide me over till I do get the Vamp. But this is a good gang Vamp. And more importantly, it's a great little backdrop piece. And it'll look nice in amongst all the other stuff that I've been working on. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. She was inspecting that vehicle. What were you thinking, Clutch? Stop calling them chicks. And so we'll just place this up there next to, as Woody Triple Deuce says, the oversized drifter bike that could have been something great had they just brought it down just a couple of notches on that sizing. But I got my dirt bikes and what? Maybe you want to buy the hoverboard. We get the hoverboard over here, very cheap for you. It's 16 Tim Hortons, Austin Matthews special card you get from me. Okay, bye-bye. And yeah, I also know that I watched today both Aaron and 3 Star Draw. They reviewed their Scarlets for the retro line. What a great looking model that is. I still do like this one, but I am looking forward to that. But guys, this was a vehicle I had in mind for 2 dudes. That's them. That's the vehicle. And yeah, you know, it is what it is, guys. I just wanted to have some fun with this video today and introduce you to the way that we look at Ryan's Joe collection. Okay, G.I. Joe vehicles, they break when the world war goes to war and the computer is corrupt. I give them better ones. Goodbye. All right, I'll stop. Hey, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and yeah, 350 contest. Really quickly about that, guys. You gotta go back into my channel, find the one where I'm holding up the sign. It says 350 contest, enter here. You'll read some rules there. Enter, and I'll make you like a miniaturized backdrop for you. This backdrop is part of my 500 subscriber prize. I'm still building it upwards. And if you've recently subscribed to that channel and you want your name or some sort of gimmick about your name on there, do hit me up in the comments and I'll start adding that on there. Because I get sidetracked with the ADHD, even medicated, guys. I mean, I'm working on 20, 30 things at a time half the time. But you can see I am closing out more and more stuff. So we are getting there, guys. Thanks very much, and I will see you on the next TCCC Tactical Perspective toy review or whatever else I'm doing tomorrow. All right, bye. Ending shot. Ending shot.